Good morning, North America. To your morning new world, today we'll talk about the most natural disaster in Mexico. And we will talk about the earthquake in Mexico in 1985. The 1985 in Mexico earthquake was a seismic moment that occurred the Thursday, September 19, 1985. They say that the earthquake began at 7:70 in the afternoon was a picanter took a place on the Pacific Ocean in the state Michigan. They say that this earthquake is the most destructive and deadly in the history of Mexico. This earthquake affects many coasts and center, south, and west of the country. People say that earthquake suppressed the exchequer of 1857 that had been on the largest earthquake suspended in the region. This earthquake reached a magnitude of 8.1 and lasted almost 4 minutes. The total number of victims and injured from the 1985 earthquake is on the official number of the deaths was infinite 3,692. Earthquake is now the official number of deaths was in 7,000 people dead, and it was estimated that 30.
Due to the pressure of these groups, the government was forced to expropriate some of the destroyed properties and build new homes for the victims, for which it had financial support from the World Bank. Given the climate of social discontent and criticism of the ruling party, an electoral reform was promoted in 1986 that modernized the voting system and facilitated the participation of minority opposition political parties in 1988 presidential elections. Without and the government's slow and efficient handling of this situation produced much rejection of the management of the ruling party, the PRI. Given the initial inaction of the government of Miguel de la Madrid, citizens, mainly the Ciudad de Mexico, organized themselves into a movement of voluntary rescue actions that wove networks of collective solidarity and strengthening of community ties. Shortly after the earthquake, the first protest movement took place that demanded better care conditions, housing, and spaces for basic services. The Single Coordination of Victims, the CUD, was created and organized that brought together humanitarian aid during the earthquake. The collaboration of various countries to deal with the disaster was numerous. Up to mid-October 1985, 220 flights from 37 different countries had traveled to Mexico with food, belongings, rescue tents, clothing, first aid material, and volunteer personnel. Firefighters, police, and armed forces. Although the government of the Republic was accused of acting slow, the president initially rejected the offer of humanitarian aid from the international organizations, but soon had to retract and accept it. Rescue efforts lasted weeks after the initial quake. They were able to extract people alive from the rubble of destroyed buildings up to 10 days after the earthquake. The total numbers of survivors rescued was approximately 4,000 people. The lifeless bodies found were so many, and the work to recover them lasted so long, that as of the September 22, there were destined for mass graves.